Hello, everybody. I hope we're live. This is Hefe with the Battle Pirates Crib TLCpalooza. Hope everybody's having fun with that, and all the other changes that have happened to the game this week. It's so far it's just me and Disturbed God. How you doing, Disturbed?
Pretty good.
Okay. Title of this show is One Step Forward, Two Steps Back. And I guess we can go to the first slide. Bug fixes. Most of them are pretty boring. You know, some format issues with builds and things like that cause a little bit of confusion. The second one is we brought up on, I think, last Friday's show, where players' fleets were getting stuck in the docking state for very extended periods of time. A friend of mine, his got stuck during a raid on Friday morning. We didn't free it up until Tuesday morning, and they had to relocate it. They had to send him to from the 400s to like 108, and I saw some other instances where people had their subs stuck, and I'm glad maybe they fixed all the issues. They said that should help. Some mega hull stuff. Basically, my understanding is that people enter, the person with the mega hull doesn't know they entered. You know anything more about that one, Chris?
Not really. I haven't participated in any mega hull battles recently.
Okay. Another graphical issue with the warplating armors. Another graphical issue. I guess, unless you got anything on any of these, we can go on to the next one. They appear to be a little graphical in nature. Fix the crash that occur when deploying the base defense fleet immediately after refitting the flagship. Seems like a small group of people that might happen to. You familiar with this, Chris?
No.
Okay.
I haven't refitted my Harlocks anytime recently, so.
Okay. The big news, and we'll talk about a little bit more briefly, is that they've cut the repair efficiency for the warplating in half, so it's gone from 0.8, which is basically the maximum for anything besides the repair plates. Below, you know, as everybody pretty much knows, repair is one repair efficiency, 1 second per point of armor. Most of your single damage types are at 0.8 seconds per point, and then I'm sorry, that's the 0.6 seconds per point, and then things like your stealth and multiple ones are 0.8. So I consider that their step forward. That I think they listened to some people associated with where they saw the people weren't refitting anything to use them. But I think it's a good move. But it still greatly increases your overall repair time for any of your Conqueror hulls. So, you got anything more on that one, or are you just?
No, I don't plan on using it, so it's not really going to affect me.
Okay. I guess we can move on to the next one. Level 60 direct mining bases. I don't know why they did this. I'm hoping that they change this. Doesn't make any sense what they've done. Previously, I was able to hit a level 60 Drac mining base with a single Punisher, and it was instant repair. Now I'm getting about 32 minutes of damage. I can hit a 70 for somewhere a little over 20 minutes of damage, or right around 20 minutes of damage. So I don't know that they've properly tested this one before they released it. And I talked to you earlier, Chris. You hadn't participated in any of that.
Yeah, I'm not planning on hitting mining bases anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not a lot of catch up to do at this point. So, I mean, I'll probably start hitting those again once we start getting a new turret or something like that. Now, mostly what I'm doing is upgrading and not refitting or equipping.
I've basically got one more Deadeye to equip, and then it's just all upgrades for me, and then equipping stuff onto it as they level up, which doesn't take long.
Yeah, I've been able to some of my frontline turrets. What I've been doing recently is adding on the solar plate.
I've been doing that to the ones on my island.
Yeah, but I've run because I've been running bulkhead and a lot of specials that were only let me get 2 bulkheads on, and then I was going to go overweight with a third. So I've been throwing that on, and I think it adds 15,000 armor, which isn't bad, and it's raising my total. Yeah, so I've been doing that leisurely, so I haven't been doing a lot of base part mining myself either. So Danielle has joined us.
Hi.
Hello. Do you have anything on the level 60 Drac mining bases?
Other than the fact that I've been hearing people complaining about them nonstop, yeah, they're not happy with them. But other than that, I don't hit them, so I don't know what's in them.
Yeah, they've added, especially on the northern end, they've added some on the northern and southern end. It appears to be, I haven't done it side by side, it appears they added about 6 to 8, 6 to 9 turrets. And causes quite a bit more damage, and I think some of them are a little tougher. They've added a little bit more health to them. But yeah, I don't know. Well, especially it's not a good move because you take less damage doing a 70, and you get more base parts. It's a little bit perplexing to me. I guess we can move on. Nothing else on this. Coming soon, in our suspense. We have all of our TLCs that we got. We got 4 of them this week. Seems a little bit like a little bit of overload. And then we have a preview that we'll talk about a little bit, starting on Friday at 11:30 Kickside time, which is sort of a departure from what we've been hearing previously. The only slide, we can come back to this, but the only slides I've done is for the Raiders Revenge. Since the War Games, Dark Reign 3, and Clash of the Titans are all repeats. We can either talk, if anybody has anything to say about anything but Raiders Revenge, we can either come back to it or talk about it now. It's your choice.
The Raiders Revenge actually was actually fairly decent for me as far as what hulls to use. I use it with pretty much one Fury.
Yeah, what I was going to say is for Raiders Revenge, I have a bunch of slides for Raiders Revenge, but the other 3, do you have anything that anybody wants to say?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. We'll come back to that if we have time. But I guess we can go to the next slide. The open preview. I find this is interesting. Um, they're going to have new prizes being previewed that allow you to use submarines, or allow you to not use submarines, to use surface ships against the Reaver raid targets. This, I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts about this? None of my thoughts are terribly positive unless you are a real anti-sub person.
I think it's kind of odd they have a raid set and they do so much tweaking to stop people from using surface ships, and 2 months in, oh, here's stuff to do it with surface ships.
Yeah, when is this TLC going to come out? Because we have two more raids with this raid cycle with the Reavers.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that we're not going to be doing subs anymore. And I've been watching people talk in sector comms. They're like, "Oh, the next raid is going to be for surface subs." I'm like, "No." I said we're supposed to have them to be subs from now until December.
Yeah, and then afterwards, some version of those targets are going to become our new Drac Armadas or uranium source. So maybe doing it for that reason, but my big fear is that they may substantially change the targets that we just hit. You know, the targets from the last raid that everybody seemed fairly happy with. Maybe they wanted some tweaks done to them. But now that they're going to involve surface ships, it opens the door, at least in my mind, for radical changes to those targets. And I hope that doesn't occur, because we've already had one radical change to them. Yeah, Dr. Des is saying they want you to coin. Yeah, they want you to coin them so you have them for the raid, which is basically what I was sort of implying, that we only, when is the TLC going to come out, and how long are these going to be useful for? That you're going to have to coin them for them to be useful. And yeah, it'll be interesting. But if anybody wants to participate, it's going to be Friday at 11:30 Pacific, and 2:30 Eastern. But I guess we can go on unless anybody else has anything on this one. Just an overview of the Raiders' Revenge time limit campaign. Last for another 5 days or so. It's PvP, target simulator player bases. So there's a Doom Rooster and a Destro in there. So we got a community manager and a CEO. The first one is extremely easy if you have any sort of Conqueror Halls. And I haven't hit. I've been working on the FM and some other things as far as 2 and 3. I noticed in Prize Pack 2, the first one, you could do a lot of work. Tiger sharks with cobras on them. You can get almost halfway through that base with that. But I had a little interruption after I did the prep work for that, and then I haven't got back to it because I've been doing the FM and whatnot. Has anybody run all the way through it?
I haven't.
I have.
Okay.
And it's like I said, it's actually pretty easy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I used one Fury for round 1, round 2, and then for the third round it took me 3 Furies. So it really isn't that bad. It was actually pretty decent. I thought it would have been harder.
Okay. How was Doom Rooster's base? That was the last one. That was the third one in Prize Pack 3.
Walkable with my stuff.
Walkable. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's come on to the next slide then.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Here's the prize overview.
Yeah,
And
just the hull. It's just the Harlock's Revenge hull itself is a 21-day build.
equipped.
No,
Did they change it?
in my shipyard it showed 21 days, and I didn't have nothing on it except for Speed System 5.
Well, Speed System 5, okay. I can double check that because when Chris comes back, we can fast forward to. I actually have it in my shipyard. Um, Anybody in chat see the 22 days? I got 13 days. I'm not sure if there was some
Then
sort
it
of
then it must be a glitch on my end.
yeah. Dr. Death is agreeing with it. He says 13 days as well. So yeah, it's a little bit shorter considering that the Rhino and the Harlock Citadel were about what, 16, 17, 18 days. And Agility System 4 is a nice pickup and price pack. Well, I think Chris is back.
Yeah.
I think the issue with price pack 1 is the Revenge is the by itself is the sort of the least of the Conqueror hulls, and you would assume that you would be able to win it without owning a Conqueror hull. This is sort of assuming prize pack 1 is sort of a catch up. But you've had some experience with trying to finish prize pack 1, and it's expensive for somebody that actually doesn't own a single one.
Yeah, because you get to that third level, and then they got a bunch of level 7 platforms, and with everything having a defense bypass, nothing without a Conqueror hull stands up fast or long enough without coining. I figure it would take me coining the Apollos 6 or 7 times to get in.
I see. And you said they did have siege battery on them?
Yeah, they had siege battery 1 on them.
Yeah, and because I put a post on the crib page asking if anybody had had any success with using non-Conqueror hulls and for prize pack 1, and I didn't get anybody saying that they did. So if you consider that a little bit of a screw up, the fact that they're trying to let you win the Revenge and get your feet wet with the Conqueror hulls, and then don't really let you do it. And they needed to come up with some sort of a lower bar for that, because anybody that owns Revenges can walk it, but your prize is the Revenge in a 1-day Revenge token build. So they need to at least take the third target and make that one a little bit more manageable for Punishers and Apollos or whatever people might choose to use. And price pack 2, the Agility System 4 is nice to have if you didn't get the raid and still need some. And you're already getting in price pack 2 a 1-day Harlock Revenge token, even though you haven't won it yet. I guess that's encouraging you to go on to prize pack 3. And I guess we can go on to the next slide, which I think is the Harlock's Revenge. And it has a Chris, can you move your finger away from that? Yeah, okay. Here we go. With my level of R&D, which I think is like 26 or 7 or something like that, it's a 13-day, 2-hour build time. Pretty much it's very similar to the regular Revenge, except for what I highlighted in red. The middle panel, which makes it a little bit on the crazy side. Chris, you talked about seeing some people use them.
I didn't see it, but I heard people saying that the Revenges were walking their bases with the flagship, that, originally Revenges wouldn't have made it to their first turn.
Yeah, I mean, when I look, I haven't seen anybody use it yet, but it does. It's crazy. They need to drop 1, 2, or 3 of these bonuses in order to make it manageable for anybody to defend their base. I mean, run all the numbers, but radioactive deflection, once you put it all together, is, because you still need to add what's over in the right-hand column to what's there. I'm not sure the cyclones are going to do much against it. I mean, the penetrative deflection. So go ahead, Chris.
I don't see too much actually doing a bunch of damage to these except for the Draconian Scattergun. And even then, there's a slow reload, and you can only have 2 of them, so it's... I don't think they really thought this one through. They're just like, we're going to make it really good so a bunch of people coin it, and then we're going to have a bunch of people complain it's overpowered, and then we're going to nerf it. That's kind of where I see this whole as.
I mean, what this haul really makes me wonder, and something that they've been very secretive about, we brought up on the Friday show, is exactly how is minimum damage calculated. Because this appears to me that the only way you can really defend against this is minimum damage with your base patrol. Just hitting them over and over again. And I know you got some good ships for that, Chris. Like, you got the bypass chain gun and things like that do a ton of minimum damage.
Yeah.
But this doesn't.
To me, the biggest problem is that 20,000 range needs to be dropped down to 20, so it has to be in the channel stacked up with the Revenges for it to work.
Oh, wait. Maybe I'm missing. Okay. I just realized this. Would this have to be this wouldn't be a category that would... They don't show it, but it doesn't show cold snap immune. But I'm assuming this type of thing wouldn't have to be cold snap immune. That's the only weakness or balancing part of this I could see. Would this type of effect...
I think flagship effect is cold snap immune, and then on top of that, it's 20,000 range. Who's going to care about a cold snap? Shove it in a corner and then run your Revenges down a base, and boom, you're in.
I mean, the isn't like the Aegis and whatnot. Oh yeah, James Burst. Yes, it only applies to other Revenges. But what we're saying is it makes the Revenges basically immune to everything but minimum damage. But isn't the Aegis and the Harlock Aegis, isn't that a flagship effect? Which can be shut down with
effect.
Okay, I'll have to look on how it's listed. But that would be the only weakness potentially I could see in this. If I'm, I could be way off on that. I just find it, and it impacts the ship itself. So you could just, put up one launcher on this thing and use it as a spotter, and use it to remote target. It just seems broken in some way, that either that or we aren't understanding it correctly, because we haven't. A lot of people, at least personally, I don't think anybody here has seen it in action. So, but yeah, if you want to, what's the other option is, what would you think about this in base defense?
I don't see it being worth too much in base defense, honestly, because then you'd have to have, for it to really work, you'd have to have Revenges in the base defense. To me, it's not worth taking my Harlock Citadel out for.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, you wouldn't need to have other Revenges, because all these flagship effects impact the ship itself. So if you have a ship in there that they can't kill, that can be quite frustrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I just thought of it, as we're talking. But oh well.
I mean,
I guess we
it's
can move
an
on.
option. It's an option.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd work if you built it up right, but I can see it being used, I could take out my Harlock, sit it out on a Vanquisher, put in a Protomass, and replace my middle Vanquisher with it, and it'd probably work pretty well with the Forsaken Mission, not Scattergun, the concussive gun, the concussive replicator,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. So it could be used for base defense pretty well.
Yeah, because I was thinking about players that may have the equipment to, may have the tech to win this, but aren't big base hitters, and what potentially could they do from it? Because the bloodthirst is nothing now. The bloodthirst is just dwarfed by this flagship effect. So yeah, I could see it being tricky if somebody. Yeah, it would be tricky if somebody went with all revenges in their base defense fleet.
Yeah, then I just sub them.
Yeah, I guess they don't have any thermal, so that would be one option. Or maybe when they only go with 4 of them. But unless we got anything else on this, I guess we can go on to the next one. This is just an update that they've slashed the repair efficiency of the warplating, and I just give a little example. I mean, it does. I can see more uses for it now. You still have the same amount of armor if you went with the Fury with 3 of these plates. You still have 103 armor, but you're subtracting an hour and a half off the repair time. So it's more reasonable now. I'm still not sure this is the ultimate fix, considering the repair efficiency of the Conqueror hulls are, in the 0.1 to 0.2 range, and this is still adding a significant amount of repair time onto them. So I just wanted to update this as this is their step forward. We've been talking about a couple of steps back, so I wanted to reinforce this one. But you're still not going to use it first, right?
I don't plan on it. I mean, I've heard people, or a friend of mine said he's putting it on his Furies and stuff for the less splash damage, because everything that damages them is basically splash. So it does have uses. I just don't see myself using it.
I don't plan on using it either.
I mean, I haven't put any Conqueror hulls in as my base defense yet, but it seems to lend itself more towards that than actual base hitting, but more for people that are going to use their Conqueror hulls as in base defense. All right, I guess we can go on. I'm not sure how many more we got left. Well, somebody had too many TLCs this week. I thought it was a little bit of a screw up to do 4 TLCs in a single week, and she couldn't get quite through all of her TLCs, and still wants one more. But it would have made much more sense to me if they had released the maybe the Dark Rain and the Mega Hall TLCs this week, and then next week release the other 2. I think they would have got more coins out of it, because now people are just frantically trying to get their FM and 4 TLCs done and then do whatever. I think they could have spread it out a little bit. The other thing that we talked about is the Conquer Hall required to win the Revenge. Well, does anybody have anything on the 4 TLCs this week?
It's.
Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, it's a lot to put in 1 week, because it's 4 TLCs along with the tap. You needed along on the fact you need to do the Forsaken mission, you need alliance points. Most people are probably still repairing from the VXP weekend. Most of their fleets are going to be dead from ranking. So it's, it's a lot to have in 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's obviously suffering the consequences of that. But
I know.
and you had some. Go ahead.
I was going to say I totally agree with Chris. This is just too much on 1 weekend. I mean, what was it, 2 weeks ago, we just had the raid. Then we started back up with the weekly. And like he said, people are having to get alliance points, are having to do this, are having to do that. A lot of people are still repairing from the raid. It's just too much, too quick. And I mean, if they're really going to push all this stuff on us, then they should have put it out. Okay, we're going to do 2 this weekend, and then next weekend there will be 2. So that people who aren't able to do certain ones, I mean, like especially with me with the Mega one, I can't do the Mega one, so I still got three of them to do. And then the one that has the Gale defenses, I really don't want to do, but I have to do it just so I can get the better anti-morts, which, just in all honesty, I think it's just way too much.
Yeah. And I've opened up I posted the link on the right-hand side for anybody that wants to join the show at this point. And anybody's welcome. No gold required, like I said on the Friday show. And then the second point that we talked about a little bit with Chris and his experience is you pretty much need to have the Conqueror Hall to win the Revenge. And then having why increasing the blitz to 10 gold doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It takes about 4 minutes. And if you're able to do it for 2 gold, you can run through the whole thing in about 15 minutes. Why are you going to spend 10 on it? I mean, you would end up spending 40 gold as opposed to spending, well, basically 6 if you can do it for 2. And spend 15 minutes playing the game. I don't get that at all.
I got to make a comment regarding the blitz. I was in a 109, came out, it said right on there, repair was 5, but to blitz was 6. Excuse me, that's 1 extra coin more that you're taking from me that could go towards another, thing of me being able to blitz. I thought it was just absolutely ridiculous. I personally went and took a screenshot of it, and I sent in a ticket regarding it, because why are you going to charge me more than what the repair was?
Yeah, and with WYSIWYG, so you never get the blitz even if you satisfy all the requirements. Do you have gold in your account? Because if you don't have gold in your account, it's not going to show up. So, yeah, now they're talking about the cost. Yeah, the 102 I think is 3 or 4. I forget. It's less than the 109. And I guess moving on, the imbalance of the level 60 mining platforms. I just don't understand. Why they would make these the 70 easier than the 60. I did my testing with Punishers, and Renato over at TFC did his with the what's the one meant for this? I never built them. What's the other siege?
Crusaders? Centurions?
Crusaders, yeah, Crusaders. Yeah, Crusaders. I never built them, and he was getting very similar things to what I was getting with the Punishers. And that was the hull that was intended to be used on these targets. So yeah, I don't get that part. So I guess it ends up being one step forward, 4 steps back. But I guess we can move on to
Always.
the. Well, not always. Last week we, last week we didn't. I don't think we had 4 steps back. I guess we can move on to the next slide. Like we already talked about, they reduced the warplating repair times. I think it's a good move, but I think it's only a half measure. I think those plates should get down to somewhere in the 0.2 to 0.3 repair efficiency area. Unless this is really really aimed at people that like to spend coins and really want to beat a base and get like an extra 10% armor because they think they're just about to beat that base. That's the only reason I can see for it. And term limitation on moderators, they actually haven't done that. But when I wrote this, I didn't know about the repair time changes, so I threw that in there as a potential breakthrough. But I don't think they have any actual plans to term limit the moderators, which I don't think would be a bad idea.
It'd be good because I know a couple moderators who like to lord their power over everybody, so it'd be nice to see them not have that power anymore.
Well, and I think a lot of them also just get burnt out and become cranky and whatnot. And, so. Oh, Love Angel, that's Chrissy Teigen. I think she's actually eating it. She's not blowing it or whatever. I'm not sure what.
No comment on the picture.
No, I thought it was better that she could still eat. This is the good stuff. She's like a Sports Illustrated model, and she's actually wrote her own cookbook. So, anybody in I'll post it one more time. Does anybody else currently on the panel have anything else they want to talk about? Because I think this is it's normally our last slide. Any other issues? Because we could end it now and go to the after show. Unless anybody from the from chat wants to join us. Or we could go back. Chris, can we go back to slide, I think 3? The slide that has the suspense. No, it's coming soon. Slide 5. I'm sorry. Coming soon. There we go. Thank you. As far as Raiders Revenge goes, Laredo has, I didn't put them here, but Laredo has posted screenshots of all the bases in Raiders Revenge, in case you want to see them. And haven't missed it, just look up Laredo and figure it out. I forget which thread it was in, but he's posted all of them. War Games 3, there's a lot of good videos that have been put out there on how to beat these and how to interact with them. Dark Reign 3 is fairly easy for anybody with Apollos and anybody that just has an Apollo lead. And it's, I think, a very, very good campaign for anybody that has decent assaults, because I think you end up getting about 15 days of tokens out of that. For the Vendetta. So you basically get free Vendetta build plus time left over. So there's no real reason not to do it if you can do it efficiently. And there's, a couple other good things. There's also, if you don't have the Harlock Citadel or Zoe's Apollo, those are available there, and all you need to have is a decent assault fleet. So, anybody else have anything to say about the other TLCs? I guess not. Deep Six, who should be a mod sub? I'm trying to figure out if somebody's name is sub. Nope, I don't see anybody. Well, I will take you off of present, Chris.
All right.
And unless Deep Six gets back to me, Dr. Death cost of megas is too high for Clash of the Titans 2. I don't know a lot about megas or that thing. Anybody? I don't think anybody else here has a lot of mega experience.
Not really. I'm still 48 shards away from even starting my mega.
Yeah. So, well, I'll post the Hangout links one more time, and then I guess we'll log out. Friday's show, I'm going to try and break down some of the stuff that's going on with the Harlock Citadel, and then George and I are going to work up something for tanks for the FM, and so it should be a fun show. Larry's been traveling around the world the last 2 weeks. He should be back next Wednesday. And I guess that's about it. Unless anybody has anything else, I guess I can end this madness. Okay, everybody want to say good night?
Good night, people.
Night, everyone.
All right. Happy pirating, and see you on Friday.